Forbes India Leadership Awards have continued to honor entrepreneurial capitalism and outstanding corporate leadership in the country. And its 5th edition saw stalwarts of India Inc. descend at what was an affair to remember.
The awards tell you what Forbes India values from the kind of people we like to celebrate. Forbes India believes in conscious capitalism and plays cheerleader to entrepreneurs and who generate growth and wealth, prosperity and jobs. And yes, they often give back as much to society as they can through their philanthropy. At Forbes India, we find ways to celebrate all kinds of leaders, as you will see later today. Thank you. Have a good time.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to honor the crème-de-la-crème of corporate India. To give away the first set of awards, may I invite the CEO of Forbes India, CNBC TV 18, CNBC Awaaz and CNBC Bajar, Anil Unial on stage. And to join him, may I invite Kiran Kotekar, Director of Vector Consulting Group. Kiran, can we have you on stage? And to join both of them, the Managing Director of McKinsey India and jury member, Mr. Noshir Kaka. Okay, we have the presenters in place. Now let's take a look at the nominees in the first award category of the evening, the Conscious Capitalist of the Year.
The nominees for the Conscious Capitalist for the year are Godrej Consumer Products, Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited, Marico Limited, Tata Chemicals, and the winners are Godrej Consumer Products and Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation Limited.
As you can see, there are 2 winners in this category in no particular order. May I request the chairman of the Godrej Consumer Products, Mr. Adi Godrej, to come up on stage to collect the first award. Mr. Godrej. Mr. Godrej, I have a question for you. How has your strategy, the good and green strategy, how has that helped you achieve advantage in your business?
It has helped us greatly in our business itself, because one of the things we do in our good and green program is skilling and training. It has given us a lot of people to work with us and work in our businesses.
Oh, it's a great business is good business. All right, thank you, Mr. Godrej. May I now invite on stage the Managing Director of the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, Mr. R.S. Sodhi, to receive his award in the same category. Mr. Sodhi. Okay, the question for you is simple. The Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation has a culture and a value system which is all important in your business. How will you ensure that the next generation of leaders will absorb and abide by the same culture?
We were very fortunate and lucky that our founders were very great people. So I think any organization can only succeed and can go and continue to grow for 50 years, 100 years if their value system is ingrained in their DNA. Thank you very much.
Our next award category is Entrepreneur with Social Impact, and here are the nominees.
The nominees for the Entrepreneur with Social Impact are Dr. Ashwin Nayak, Founder and Director, Vatsalya Healthcare, Dr. H. Harish Hande, MD, Cellco India, Murali Bulagandi, Co-Founder and CEO, Rural Shores, Samit Ghosh, Founder and MD, Ujjivan Financial Services Private Limited. And the winner is Samit Ghosh, Founder and MD, Ujjivan Financial Services Private Limited.
Tell us some human stories. What are these moments of impact on ground that have stayed with you in all these years?
So a year back, I visited a branch in Surat, and in walks a lady, literally strutting down inside, followed by two men. And she says, this is my husband, and this is my son. 3 years ago, I took a loan of 15,000, and I was making dokla and selling it in front of my house on the street. Today, I have a loan of 1 lakh, and my husband has joined me, my son has joined me, and I have 4 karigars working for me, and I'm a wholesaler of dhokla in that part of Surat. That makes our day.
Congratulations, Mr. Ghosh.
On the other side, we bring you an enthralling face-off between two champions of corporate India. Stay tuned.
The dream of India becoming a $20 trillion economy is to happen. It's not going to happen by incremental reform.
I genuinely believe that Big Bang reforms aren't consistent with a democracy.
To give away the next set of awards, I'd like to invite back on stage the editor of Forbes India, Saurav Mazumdar. Saurav, can we have you back on stage? And along with him, I'd like to invite the CEO of KKR India, Mr. Sanjay Nair, and the editor-in-chief of CNBC Awaaz and CNBC Bajaj, Mr. Sanjay Pugalia. Sanjay, can we have you on stage? Here are the nominees in the next category of the Forbes India Leadership Awards. It's called Best CEO Multinational.
The nominees for the Best CEO Multinational category are Bazmi Hussain, Country Manager and MD, ABB India, BD Park, Head, Sales and Marketing, Korea, Samsung, Kenichi Ayukawa, MD and CEO, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, Sanjeev Mehta, CEO, Hindustan Unilever, Uday Shankar, CEO, Star India. And the winner is Uday Shankar, CEO, Star India.
Mr. Shankar, all the training you got as a journalist, is it of any use while you are CEO?
It's an exceptionally useful skill that you acquire as a journalist. First and foremost, you know the value of being socially relevant and useful as a journalist. The second value that you acquire as a journalist is the power to see the nuances, what the ordinary pair of eyes would miss. And finally, you should keep doing the right thing and not be intimidated by competition. Because as a journalist, you realize everybody makes as many mistakes. Thank you.
Our next award is for the Best CEO Private Sector, and here are the nominees.
The nominees for the Best CEO Private Sector category are Abhijit Roy, MD and CEO, Berger Paints, CP Gurnani, MD and CEO, Tech Mahindra, Himanshu Kapani, MD, Idea Cellular, Romesh Sobdi, MD and CEO, IndusInd Bank, Vivek Gambhir, MD, Godrej Consumer Products. And the winner is CP Gurnani, MD and CEO, Tech Mahindra.
What is the kind of reinvention, what are the new skill sets that tech leaders are going to need for the next phase of growth?
I believe where the real change is happening is the mortality of businesses. The challenges to the businesses are those 20-year-olds or 25-year-olds. I mean, exactly the kind of people that you saw who do not own an asset. Ola does not own an asset, Oyo does not own an asset, and they own only the technology. So I think for us to be relevant, we have to continue to reinvent ourselves through the life because technology and business are now married.
Our next award is for the best CEO public sector, and here are the nominees.
The nominees for the best CEO public sector category are Anup Kumar Mittal, Chairman and MD, National Buildings Construction Corporation Limited; Arundhati Bhattacharya, Chairman, State Bank of India; B.C. Tripathi, Chairman and MD, GAIL India Limited; R.K. Shrawat, Chairman and MD, Mazgon Dock Limited; S. Vardarajan, Chairman and MD, Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. And the winner is Arundhati Bhattacharya, Chairman, State Bank of India.
In terms of public perception and in terms of operational freedom, does being government-owned pose problems for you?
I would like to rather emphasize on the advantages of being in the public sector. Especially when you're dealing with money, it's a question of trust. And being the largest public sector bank, I have no lack of trust from my customers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for a quick word on behalf of our sponsor, the Vector Consulting Group. The Vector Consulting Group has recently published this book. It's called Apparent in Hindsight, From Chaos to Harmony in the Auto Industry. Many companies in the auto sector have invested a lot of time, effort and money into much hyped improvement techniques, but sadly have very little to show for it. Based on the theory of constraints approach to manufacturing, this book serves as a guide to the only practical way of improving procurement, operations, distribution and sales. It's time again to change the course of the evening and bring you a power-packed face-off between two of India's biggest thought leaders. This debate in true Oxford-style format will see a feisty duel over an issue that's on top of everybody's mind these days. The issue that we're deliberating, of course, is that the House believes that India needs incremental reforms and not big bang change. Now, to introduce the topic and to moderate the proceedings for the next portion of the evening, please welcome back on stage Mr. Sanjay Nair.
On the topic today is that the House believes that India needs big bang reforms and not incremental reforms. I'd like to make sure that all of you, before we start the debate, can vote as you think before the two debaters come on. What do you think India needs today? Oh boy, this is close, yeah. Okay. So let me on this note invite two of our debaters. Let me invite Cyril. But Cyril, as you know, is the managing partner of Cyril Amachand Mangalas. And then you have Manish Agarwal. Manish is the co-founder and the chairman of Team Lee Service. Cyril, you have 3 minutes starting now to tell us why India needs today big bang reforms to make real progress.
Why does India need big bang reforms? I think a couple of reasons. The services and knowledge-based progress, I think, has done its bit. What we really need is manufacturing and the real economy. And if you want to achieve what China did and all the other manufacturing superpowers, Germany, Japan, all of them have achieved, we'll have to really be a manufacturing superpower. And that means a couple of things. It means reform on big topics: land, labor, the legal system, taxation. These are not incremental things. These are very substantive, big ideas. How are you going to capture the imagination of global capital? It's not going to be by incremental stuff, by you amend a notification here or you tweak a rule there. It has to be fundamental and not just legislative, but it has to be something which has a deep impact. And all of these put together, I think, will sort of achieve that. Even the legal system, a subject close to my heart, is so integral to enforceability of contracts and the trust in the legal system, trust in the entire investment climate. For infrastructure, which is a much talked about theme, the entire land legislation and the land reform is essential. Without that, you're not going to get your power projects and your roads and your ports and your airports through. That's a big item. Tax is something which we talk about every day, the predictability of the tax regime. That's not going to come by changing a section here or section there. You need something fundamental and you need something stable. Skill development and employability and the ease of employability, labor reforms. Not an incremental idea at all. So if all this business about the Modi dream and the dream of India becoming a $20 trillion economy is to happen, it's not going to happen by incremental reforms. You need something big and powerful which captures the imagination not only of India Inc., but also the world at large.
Manish, up to you to tell us as to how you're going to win the fact that more realistic to achieve the goals of growth and jobs, it makes to have more incremental strategy and probably acquire more percentage in PSU banks here. Tell us that.
You know, every entrepreneur knows that it's more important to be successful than to be right. You know, it's easy, it's fun to be right, but it's more important to be successful. And I think incremental reforms are sort of more doable and more sustainable than big bang reforms for three reasons. One is I genuinely believe that big bang reforms aren't consistent with a democracy. You know, Indians aren't irrational and dyslexic. We genuinely disagree with each other. So, you know, I think it's important to recognize that, of course, benevolent dictatorship is the best form of government, but you're more likely to end up with Musharraf or Mugabe rather than Lee Kuan Yew. I genuinely think big bang reforms are inconsistent with a democracy. Second important point which has come out lately is that the big bang reforms imply there's one solution for India. There is no such thing as India's land and labor market. Economic wastelands like UP have completely different land markets than Maharashtra. Export labor markets like Bihar are completely different from Kerala, which is now 9.5% Bihari. And the most important one is big bang reforms create an antibiotic reaction. If you propose 100 or 0, you will get 0. We've got more labor reform in the last 1 year than in the 20 years before this, because we've stopped equating labor reform with hire and fire. And we focused on inspections, online compliance, apprenticeships, provident fund, ESI, decentralization. You know, of course, a labor contract, which is marriage without divorce, needs to change. I think India sort of missed her twisted destiny. She's made a new appointment, but that's not going to happen because of a regulatory beheading. It's going to happen by death by 1,000 cuts.
If you agree with Manish's set of arguments, you got to wait for A. And if you want to go with big bang reforms, you got to vote for B. Your time starts now. Man, you did a good job. You did a good job. You did a good job, yeah. Well, thank you, everyone.
Stay tuned for more action from the Forbes India Leadership Awards 2015 coming up right after this short break.
Now, for the last set of awards, to do the honors, I'd like to invite the Editor-in-Chief of Forbes India, R. Jagannathan, and the Chairman of the Jury, Harsh Mariwala, the Chairman of Marico and the Chairman of our Forbes Jury. Right, let's take a look at the nominees for the Next Gen Entrepreneur Award.
The nominees for the Next Gen Entrepreneur for the year are Ajay Bijli, Chairman and MD, PVR Limited; Prakash Chabria, Executive Chairman, Finolex Industries; Rahul Sharma, Co-Founder and CEO, Micromex; Ramesh Juneja, Chairman, Mankind Pharma Limited; Siddhartha Lal, CEO and MD, Aisha Motors Limited. And the winner is Siddhartha Lal, CEO and MD, Aisha Motors Limited.
Mr. Lal, however, could not join us today, but he has sent us a video message. Take a look.
For me, I was always passionate about motorcycles. I've been riding a motorcycle since 1991. I've been working at Royal Enfield since 96, and I was really interested in it. And when I figured we're going to sell Royal Enfield, I got really upset. I figured we must do something to save it because that's where I'd wanted to always work. And I'm absolutely delighted to accept this award from Forbes India, the Next Gen Leadership Award. That's really, really cool to get an award like this.
It's now down to the two biggest awards for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. The next award is for the Lifetime Achievement Award. Let's take a look at who gets it.
He is a person who goes into great detail, and he realized that to produce a competitive product, you have to first get hold of and absorb the best technology and translate it onto the workshop. And he did very well. His Maruti story is well known.
Mr. Bhargava is a pioneer who developed automobile industry in India. Maruti project was the old Indian's dream. He was a frontier member of this project. He made a dream becomes reality. I wish him many more laurels in coming years.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to get up and give Mr. R.C. Bhargava a standing ovation for the Lifetime Achievement Award. For all of us whose first car was a Maruti, this is the man you should be thanking. Mr. Bhargava, can we invite you on stage? Your opinion, what is your single biggest achievement?
To make this a successful company and to win the confidence of the Japanese, it was necessary to understand that in Japan, teamwork is primarily responsible for success, and teamwork requires teamwork with the workers of a company. So I think the ability to change from that bureaucratic mindset to a mindset which actually resulted in the success of the company was probably the biggest achievement. Thank you.
Well said, sir. Congratulations once again. And now for the ultimate award of this evening, ladies and gentlemen, Entrepreneur of the Year. Take a look.
The nominees for the Entrepreneur for the Year are Dr. Cyrus Poonawalla, Chairman, Serum Institute of India; Gautam Adani, Chairman, Adani Group; H.M. Bangur, MD, Shree Cement; Pawan Munjal, Chairman, Hero Motorcorp; Rahul Bhatia, Interglobe Enterprises; Uday Kotak, Executive Vice Chairman and MD, Kotak Mahindra Bank. And the winner is Uday Kotak, Executive Vice Chairman and MD, Kotak Mahindra Bank.
What is the real secret to making a good acquisition? Is it like a good marriage?
A deal is always exciting when you do it, but the real success of an acquisition is to integrate after doing the deal. And we are right now in the process of it. I'll be able to give you a successful answer 1 year from now about how successful it has been. On behalf of India and Indians, I would love to see Indian institutions of global scale and size, which every Indian is proud of. And I'm a part of that dream. Thank you.
We have been associated with Forbes FILA for last 2 years now, and we've we are very proud of being associated with FILA. It's a very interesting format where not only it's an evening of celebration, but also an evening where knowledge is disseminated. So it's very interesting.
The Forbes Leadership Award is all about leadership, entrepreneurship, and it is also an assembly of the best entrepreneurs of the country. And we share in BMW also very much this entrepreneurial spirit, which is about shaping the future, not being happy with what you have realized in the past, but changing the life of the people, changing society.